Welcome to today's video on designing a 3D flower.
Let's go to tinkercad.com. Now we'll log in using our school Gmail account and you can join your teacher's classroom using her class code. Once you've logged in, your screen should look like this. Click the Create button and select 3D Design to begin designing your project.
To get started, I'm going to go ahead and drag a sphere onto my work plane, and I'll set the width to 0.3 inches, the depth to 0.7 inches, and the height to 1.5. Then I'll go ahead and rotate the component back a notch and make a copy of it, like so. Each time I make a copy, I'm going to rotate it 40 degrees, as such, and then again I'm going to make a copy of the rotated component and rotate it an additional 40 degrees, as you can see here. Repeat this process 9 times until you have 9 components like you can see where my cursor is in the top right hand corner, and that way we have all the petals to create one layer of petals for our flower. I've created these 9 components beforehand to save some time for this demo, so I'm going to go ahead and drag the components onto the center of my work plane, and I'll start arranging each of the petals to make a circle so I have one complete layer of petals. As you can see, I've left a little bit of an overlap between each of the petals so that it's one complete layer. When I group all the components together, I don't want any gaps between my petals. And as you can see, I'm just going to continue to adjust this layer of petals until I'm happy with how it looks, because this will be a master copy that we use to create the inner layers of our flower as well. So once I'm happy with how it looks, I'm going to go ahead and select all the components and group. Now I'm going to go ahead and drag this component over to the side. I'll set the color to a dark red tone, and now I'm going to make a copy of this entire component, and I'll use the corner adjustment tool to shrink my copy down just a bit. Then I'm going to go ahead and change the color so that each of the layers of our flower are a different shade of red, and I'll repeat this process around 5 to 8 times depending on how dense you would like your flower to be. Remember, each time make a copy, decrease the size a bit, and also be sure to change the color. Alright, I think here I'll go for 6 flowers since I've chosen 3 colors to work with. And this will be my final copy. Alright, finally I'm going to go ahead and select all 6 components, and I'll use this align tool to horizontally and vertically align each of the flowers to create this layered effect. Now I'm going to go ahead and set this to the side so that we can start designing the base of our flower, or the leaves. I'm going to start by going ahead and dragging a sphere onto my work plane, and I'll set the width to 0.8 inches and the length to 1 inch. Then I'll adjust the height to 0.5 inches, like so. Now I'm going to go ahead and make a copy of this component, drag it over to the side, and rotate it 60 degrees. I'm going to repeat this process 6 times to create a full circle of leaves or a base for my flower. So each time I'm rotating an additional 60 degrees, and so it's important that we choose the component from our last copy and paste so that we can make sure that 60 degrees are being added to the rotation, and each of them is rotated by a unique amount. Alright, here is my final copy. And now I'm going to go ahead and arrange these components into a circle. Here I'm just dragging the components to overlap and create this flower-like base. And once I'm happy with how this looks, I'll go ahead and check from all the different perspectives. And I think I'm happy with how this looks, so I'm going to go ahead and drag my cursor over all 6 components, change the color, and group. Now to bring our design together, I'm going to go ahead and select the flower components as well as this base component, and I'll use the align tool to horizontally and vertically align the flower with the leaves. Now for some final touches, I'm going to go ahead and drag a cylinder onto my work plane, and I'll decrease the size, I'll raise it a bit, and drag it over to the center of my flower component so that I can fill that green space that remains empty. Alright, you might have to adjust this a bit. And here, as you can see, I'm just sort of eyeballing it. And then finally, I'm going to go ahead and select all components one last time to vertically and horizontally align. I'll change the color of this inner component, and there you have it. Your flower is complete. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.